Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. How are you? I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. I am a psychic medium. I do read tarot intuitively. I start with a channeled message and then I move on to the description of the cards. I am clairvoyant, I am clairaudient, I am a medium. And I do offer mediumship-based readings, you guys. Those are priced down below. Also, right now, I am only offering emailed versions. Okay? So, video requests are put on pause due to time constraints. And also, I just want to give a big shout out to all of you who have taken the time to donate to my channel. All of you who have taken the moment to just express your gratitude and to be here. I also want to invite you to my Reiki healing giveaway session if you guys are feeling up to it. Also, I offer complimentary healing sessions as well. I have all that information in my description box. Also, check out my Instagram story, you guys. That's usually where I post a lot of my my complimentary healings. Also, if you guys are feeling generous and would like to donate, I do have my Cash App below. I have my Indie Deck wish list, I have my Amazon wish list, and I have my PayPal. Loving all of you. Thank you so much for all of you for just always thinking about me and, you know, being a part of my journey. Being a part of your journey has been amazing. You know, I don't get to comment, but I always look at your comments whenever I get a chance, when I'm driving, when I'm, you know, multitasking, and I take in the moment with you, you know. I really feel connected, and my goal for my channel is to have a space where we all feel supported, where we all feel included, where we all feel understood, no matter what background, no matter what age, no matter where we come from, no matter what storyline, right? My whole prerogative here is to make sure that we are non-judgmental. This is one of my biggest pet peeves in life. And I'm I'm really grateful to be able to express that now at my age, because growing up I never was able to really express my frustration around judgment. So I want to take in this moment with you, and I want to start off by saying this is going to be a chatty video on mending your hearts. And I do want to just say I am in deep gratitude. I am so grateful for you. You guys have no idea. This is my prayer pose, bringing in peace. And we are going to open the energies just to clear a little bit of the negativity in our environment. I just want you guys to tune into this feeling. If you guys are interested in a clearing session, if not, that's okay too. It's always optional. I did not get to, you know, do a painting for us. I'll have that next time, but I do want to clear our aura with my painting, so we're going to go ahead and start it up. I want you guys to just focus on the cleansing, the clearing. More than anything, tune into the colors. Focus on the colors and what it feels like for you. Okay, so I woke up a little groggy. I woke up a little frustrated, tense, right? So I did some clearing around the crown chakra, and you know, usually collectively I can always feel the earth's rumble, what I call the earth's rumble. There's a lot happening in the ethers, and it's manifesting itself, you guys. A lot of us, we're opening portals, is what my spirit guides are saying. Portals are being opened. There's, as you guys know, there's a lot of warfare here, okay, on earth. We are definitely at war here, spiritual warfare. But a lot of us are learning how to really take charge of our mission in life, our incarnated purpose. So really focus on the colors and the feeling. Take it in, okay? And I know this painting is going to clear whoever it was meant to clear for. But ultimately, I like to believe it removes like energetic parasites if we're around a lot of energy. You know, empaths, people who are empathic are easily targets to take on a lot of this negativity through the day. We're like sponges, right? We care, we have an open heart. Then we're going to do a little bit on the yang side. So I'm just hoping that, you know, with the clearing sessions, that we're all taking it upon us to do the right thing, okay? Because I have seen and heard people trying to use a healing method for something that's not so great, okay? I'm trusting you. Morality and ethic is big here. We're going to focus on the heart. Okay. Now we're just going to do a quick scan. Before we do this chatty video, I love you. I am sending all of my love. I have been on a mission on, you know, self-healing, figuring out my own blockages, figuring out my own stuff. And this is the yin, the feminine. Take it in. One more, the heart. So the eyes that see all, right? One of the things I want to encourage is reflective solitude once a week, at least once a week, where we're not looking, we're not seeking validation, where we're not really looking to talk to people. I know that sounds really intense, but once a week is fine, you guys. You don't have to be a hermit. You can be who you are. But I do encourage solitude. Eye contact can be invasive if you are empathic or you're a psychic or you're a spiritualist. There's something about eye contact, the receiving portion, right? The giving portion. So I just want to say thank you for being here, and I apologize I did not get the painting, but here we are. Let's talk about mending the heart. Where are we on our journey? Please comment below, let me know. Also, I do have all my indie decks below if you guys are interested in a generous donation. My Amazon, I have my Cash App, and I have my PayPal as well. Okay. So where are we on the journey of self-love? I decided we would do it a little different today. I want to go ahead and pick a card for us, one card for the collective theme, and let's go from there. So the love that I once had, the one man that I loved, that is how I'm going to start it. I won't talk too much about things that maybe I'm not ready for, but mending the heart. We have the Six of Pentacles, right? Wow. I'm having a vision of the sun. So this is a movement for the masculine right now, okay? We're going to do a little channeling because the spirit guides are really focusing on the masculine, the movement of the masculine, okay? And right now, the sun is very symbolic of our divine masculine stepping up into their power, stepping into their grace, really showing themselves and their vulnerability. Although the sun is very masculine, my loves, although it's very masculine, it is also very telling of purpose and drive. Right now, the collective energy for our men, or a masculine energy, however you guys would like to, however it resonates, my loves, is centered around the gift of purpose. Right now, the divine masculine is reemerging from the depths of insecurity, and now there is a lot of releasing the layers, mending the heart. 6 of Pentacles, clearing karma, clearing our own insecurities, clearing our own feelings of neglect, clearing our own, whatever movement it is. We, the feminine, we are a mirror of our masculine, because this is how I like to see it. Working through my own stuff around father, I quickly realized a lot of projections. We're going to talk about it, okay? For me, there's such a deep feeling of the masculine being a part of us, right? And we are also a part of the masculine. So masculine and feminine, yin, yang, we have polarity, right? We have duality. Who are we without duality, right? We have a balance. We have the twin flame. We have our other half. So mending our broken heart. So here's my version. It's so tough to be vulnerable. Wow. We always have one love, right? We always have that one experience. My mother, she married my father, and that was her one. That was her twin flame. My ancestors on both sides are so powerful, so incredibly beautiful. And that was it. My father was her love. That was it for her. She never dated too much. Just a little quick my version if you guys are interested. And this was it. She married my father, and this is how she saw it for herself. And my father passed away. So this was her better half, right? This was her half. And this was the end of love for her as a Scorpio, right? She gave it her all. So how do we deal with healing our heart? How do we deal with loss, right? The one man that I felt deeply pulled to, a twin flame, that I felt like it was my twin. I had this. So, I pulled all the cards. I had it all in my head. And what do you do, right, when reality sets in? How many of us really just convince ourselves that there's depth in something and it's not quite there? It's coming from our own neediness, our own need to control the narrative. We all have a narrative, right? We all have what it is that we want out of our relationships. So what do we do when we're heartbroken? I had one love that shook me to the core, okay? And it was all energetic. It was really based off energy, but I was very sure that this was the person I was going to marry. And in my legacy, the way we are, the women in my family, right? Specifically, when I say my family, I say my ancestors, and specifically on my mother's side, my grandmother, my more intimate family here. The women in my lineage, it's almost like our thing, we only love once. It's like we have that one love of a lifetime, and if that does not work, we're like independent women. How many of us are here? This is something that is a legacy. It's a generational thing, because this was my love, right? And the reality is that we were just not in the same headspace about it, right? I like to say I galloped ahead, right? I kind of I made things move fast, or I tried to control the situation. I tried a bunch of methods, and I followed lead. Okay, you're not ready for a relationship. Okay, great. Let me be a friend. I'll sit in the friend zone. We can be friends. And worked on spell work, hoping that would work. And like most women and men in some cases, when we're in love, when we really feel it to the core, or we're idealizing an experience, we do things that are a bit out of character, right? There is a fixation in my life about this person, because the reality now, looking back, now that I've healed, or I shouldn't even say that I've healed, but I'm in the process of, I don't like to deal with my emotions. I run from them. So, this is a process, an individual process. But the realization was really around the fact that he helped me grow up. It was more about looking at something from the truest perspective, looking at something from what it is. We never really had a physical connection, but for me, the energy, what I felt and what my spirit guides kept showing me is I was feeling our past life connection. We had unresolved karma. This is what I felt to the core. This is exactly what I felt to the core. And it constantly moved me. And I couldn't shake myself out of this idea. So I thought, let me sit in the friend zone. Let's see where I get here, right? But I never really, there's always an expectation, right? There's always an expectation of love, of more, of why are, what in my head, I had our wedding set in my mind, right? Because this is my legacy. We marry, we don't date. We are women of respect, starting with my mother. This is how it is for us. It does not take away from anyone else's, style of dating. This is just how it was for myself growing up. So that letdown, right, of knowing that it wasn't as real as I thought as it was on my end, wanting to control the outcome, wanting to fill the void on my end, because what I felt was I needed this person to see my value. I needed this person to see who I was. How many times do we do that in our lives, right? Genderless, we are neutral here. So how do we move through mending our heart? The experience of healing, a lot of it is our inner child let down. Where, within our childhood did we feel the same experience, right? One thing I trained myself And it's not easy when you're in love, right? It's like in the middle of an intimate moment, you're not thinking rational. You get taken over by a lot of the feeling, the sensation, the lust, the passion. You're not rational about this stuff, right? The same thing goes with love. It's an addiction. I use this feeling for my art, for my creativity. So this is an outlet for you before we get into that, right? Mending a heart. How do we process? One of the things that helped me take my power back was realizing that I was projecting a lot of my own stuff. Like, this person did not give me enough for me to feel so deeply wounded to the point where my heart, was closed after. Like, it's been closed, right? I don't want to say it's closed, but, we go through a process of ascension, right? So a lot of the time when we break our hearts or we're in a relationship and things don't go the way they're supposed to go, how do we cope with that, right? How do we heal? This is the biggest thing from, a lot of my feedback from my clients, from my subscribers. How do we heal? What does healing look like? Well, it is individual, okay? Do not let anybody judge the process. Allow it to be an experience, a very individual experience, and work through it until it feels right. This is my biggest thing. Work through it until it feels right. If you have to sleep with other people to make it feel right, then do what you have to do. If you have to do art, sing a song, sing a few songs, take baths, self-care. You want to go out and get yourself some new hair, a new car, a new hat. I mean, whatever it is that makes you happy. This is the process of the psyche of a human experience. This is how we heal. This is just my own experience, you guys. The act of healing is taking the power back and looking at ourselves. Rejection is the biggest reason why people lose their shit. They lose their mind. They become very angry and explosive, and they become incredibly resentful in life. It's how we perceive or how we're taking on a lot of the resentment, right? What is our story behind the resentment? Yeah? The Six of Pentacles is just that. There is a balance of karma in love, mending, learning from the wisdom. Some of you guys were here and now you're here. Some of you were, in a position of feeling left out in the cold, left out, heartbroken, and now you're moving up here. Or where are you on this wheel of destiny? I mean, this is your story, right? When we heal, one of the things I always noticed growing up, right? There's a lot of value on looks, on beauty. I spent a lot of time wanting to be everyone else but myself, to find the man that I wanted to find, or, And one of the things I really saw in myself was when I did not reciprocate in love, or I did not reciprocate the same affection with men. This is very karmic for me. It's a past life thing, and it's also a generational thing, because the women in my lineage, especially on my mother's side, specifically with my grandmother, my great-grandmother, and my descendants, we are very serious women, okay? And I'm sure for all of you, your ancestors have a specific way. I call it the way, right? It's an indigenous term. So when the affection was not reciprocated, there was always a retaliation. This always happened to me growing up. I never understood why. and it boils back down to rejection. And I saw this with women as well. I saw this with myself. When I would get rejected, it was humbling, but it was when I felt betrayed or I felt deceived that things really shifted for me. There was an expectation, right? If a man wanted to hold my hand, I had to hold their hand. Otherwise, there's always a projection, right? And we all do this. You guys, we all work out our family stuff. Our mother, our father, our missing mother, our missing father, or our distant, caregiver. We work this out with our person, right? Love, the feeling of love, take that feeling of love and create. This is my biggest thing of what I've noticed. And it took several heartbreaks to get there, because all the men I loved so deeply, it was always very star-crossed, right? It was always very unrequited, one person this, one person that. And it was because the men that I loved, they were teachers. They were teaching me how to level up and love myself. This is the basis of what you guys are moving through as well. When you are faced with a love that lets you down, instantly ask yourself, what is this teaching me? Move through your cycle. You want to cry, you want to, you want to go somewhere and yell, you want to go box, you want to do whatever at a gym, or you want to find a positive outlet, then let that be what it's going to be for you. But don't forget to ask yourself, what does this mean? What is it teaching me? When I was 17, my first crush, I was so in love. I don't want to say I was so in love, but there's always a euphoria when I like someone. There's always an instant, I listen to music, there's an inspiration, there's more of this Piscean energy in me more than anything, right? It's never grounding. It's always up in the ethers when I like someone. And I like it like that, because sobering up to a relationship, you deal with the reality of having to, hold space for their feelings, having to hold space for their stuff, their baggage, and mine too. It's a reciprocal engagement, right? It's not one-sided. Love takes work in some ways to make a relationship work. And it's sobering. And there's something very addictive. Me and my therapist talked about this. There's something very addictive. He taught me a lot about this, about a love that is very much euphoric, that is very much idealized. This was my thing, because I like being an artist. I love people. People inspire me. So how do you work around this, right? The second thing, a lot of us, we end up in connections that are really great and they're not harmful, or we end up in relationships that are harmful. What is it teaching you? There's something there. See, when we sober it up, this is exactly what my therapist taught me. And listen, it has been my golden ticket in life, because women, we love from a place of creation. We're storytellers naturally by birth, and men too in their own way, But the feminine, we love to weave a story, right? It's like the storyline is what makes us, right? It's not, we can say media, true, but I really believe that the feminine, we are like storytellers. We are weavers of love. We create, right? We combine our wisdom with the moon, and we love to just illuminate. We love to just be in our feminine presence. So, first step, mending, okay? Please take what resonates. Listen, not everything works for everyone, okay? We are all very different. But one of the things I really want to encourage my masculines, okay? Women do not owe you anything, okay? Please. I have a lot of trauma around this. And this is my projection. I'm biased. Telling you a story from a place of projection, from a place of biased wounding. I'm wounded from this, right? Working through it, understanding it. Masculines, a woman does not need to say hello. A woman does not need to acknowledge you on a day-to-day. It's nice, but it's not necessary. The same goes for women or the feminine. A man does not have to acknowledge. A man does not have to love you, right? And that's hard for me. That was hard for me when I was in love, or what I thought was love. It was a really intense lesson for me to grow up, to mature, to see that I'm worthy of effort. This is what I felt. I'm worthy of effort. I'm worthy of something more than just words. Someone who is not active in my life is not, as many of you, depending on your love language, someone who is not active in my life is not going to take a seat at the table. Acts of service, gifts, these are my love languages. Words of affirmation. I could care less about quality time because I don't have it, right? And I don't want to spend all day with somebody, Pisces energy here. Like you guys, some of you may want quality time. Love language. Find your love language, you guys. This is a big part of mending your heart. What is it? What makes you feel loved? Some of us need a lot of validation, verbal affirmation. Some of us need a lot of physical touch, right? Some of us, we need a lot of time, effort. Find what it is, right? Find what it is that really works and ask yourself, is this person supplying it? Once we sober up, the mending, we are less resentful. So one of the things that really helped me in life was the realization that we are all acting out our shit with each other. Like anytime a man tries to control me, I am running for the hills. This is generational. I am running for the hills. Control and I know, right? What is your trigger in love? This was the basis for me. When I went through my process of healing and I posted a painting and I was really working through it, I wanted it to be creative. I wanted, my pain to be artistic, because doing it any other way just wasn't an option, right? Number 2, mending and healing. Closure is beautiful, but it's not always given. So how do we deal with that? How do we deal with the fact that someone doesn't say sorry when we feel, belittled, or we feel slighted, right? There's so much to that. How do we deal, right? How do we deal with an imbalanced connection? Or how do we deal with, one of the things I've noticed a lot, in my life through my experiences was, if I didn't reach for the hand, if I didn't want to hold the man's hand, it was a crime, right? There was always a retaliation of anger, of some kind of backlash, of revenge. If I didn't want this, if I didn't want to sleep with them, right? Very old school stuff, right? If I didn't want to reciprocate, there's a lot of stuff. But the masculine is beautiful in itself because they are growing. They're also growing. I see a lot of changes around the collective energy. This is a time of renewing ourselves. The feminine as well, right? If a man, isn't quick, or a feminine isn't quick to marry us, we're sort of like, why? Or if they're not quick to take out the wallet, it depends, whatever it is for you, right? What is that? Right? We all have our things, yeah? My biggest thing was, if you cannot support me when I'm going through something really hard, I don't know if you're worthy of my time, right? This was big for me, loyalty. I don't need a lot of time. Some of us are there. I don't need a lot of time. I don't want someone encroaching on my space. But what matters is the hard times. Are you there? Are you connected to me? Are you, in one way or another, do you give support? What is your love language? Mending a broken heart. Number 2, I should say 3, figuring out what it is that really hurts. Crying without saying, you did this, you did that, it's all your fault. How can we explode with our love, with our pain, whatever it is, and still bring it back to ourselves and say, why does this hurt? What is this showing me? What really hurts? Right? Is it the validation? Is it the need to feel loved? Is it the need to feel, grounded and centered? Is it the need to feel what? Right? What is that? Healing isn't linear, Some loves take about a year to get over. It took me a really long time to get over mine. My one that I felt, It helped me grow. This love helped me mature. So let's see what else is going on. Let's get one more card. Mending the heart. Balance, equality. The 2 of Pentacles. How can we heal? Mending the heart. Find a purpose within the chaos. If something is falling apart, I can't imagine being married to somebody and having to divorce them. This kind of takes me back to Salem, that movie Salem, you guys. One of the things I loved about her, definitely a past life resonance there as a high priestess. There are only 2 things that could kill her. That was her husband and her son. Just 2. Besides that, she had no fear. She was a sorceress. She's super powerful. And the only 2 things that could send her into a spiral was her husband and her son. And that right there resonates on many levels. The 2 of Pentacles is about finding and shifting alchemy, creating alchemy here, finding something that really works for you, okay? Finding something that feels workable. What's workable for you, okay? Some people need a network. Some people need to be alone. That is important to figure yourself out. What do you need when you're healing? Do you need a network or do you need to be alone? If you don't know, try both. What feels good? Keep trying things until you find something that feels right. Till then, keep exploring. Mending, always bring it back. A relationship ending is about bringing it back to yourself. I always had to bring it back to myself. Why a relationship hurt me, why things really hurt with me. And a big part of that was having to accept that I was giving energy to something that wasn't giving anything back, It was like in doses. So really allowing the truth to set in. What is it that I'm in love with? What is it that you were in love with? Is it the closeness? Is there room for growth? Is there room for healing? Asking yourself, these questions in doses. Taking your time. Listen, healing is not going to happen overnight as much as we want it to go away. I do encourage a lot of meditation and stillness. When we are hurting, stillness can mean anything. For me, stillness was running from myself. I had to run from myself. I wanted to run from everyone. It also helped sober me up to the fact that, I had a network that wasn't as supportive as I thought, right? So there was such an influence around needing to feel my emotions. So what I did was I ran. That's all I could really do, right? All I could do was run from my feelings. So does this, technically mean that it's bad? No. A lot of us right now, I'm going to finish this off. There is no right or wrong way to heal, number one. Number two, one of the collective things that I am seeing is the crumble of the earth's purity, because people are walking around with anger, unresolved anger, turned into a need for power. This is what is being fed into, and I have to just tell you this before we close this out, because this is seeping, it's really moving into our love life here, okay? Love will save us. Our relationships can be a catalyst to healing in itself if we respect each other. Two, what I'm seeing is this hunger for power and ego. This is where it's at. When I had a trance most recently in my meditation, I saw the earth crumble, but I do see renewal. It's a matter of our belief system. And what I see walking around right now is a lot of masculines who are hurting, who need validation. I see a lot of feminines who are hurting, who need validation. I see myself, trying to figure out why I can't find my roots. I know I could, but it's psychological warfare for me, right? Going through a process, observing myself in the middle of a group of people where compassion is no longer a thing. And I say this because it is affecting our relationships. What I see is a projection of masculines who are angry and they are taking it out on women. They're like this, right? Just by, it's like, why? And women doing a lot of the whole, let me see what I can get out of this. Or a lot of shunning for whatever reason. I mean, we all have a reason, right? I'm biased. I'm pro feminine. And I love men. I love men too. It's just, and what I mean by that is I just want to see how, I want to see us respect each other, right? Our differences. And I guess what really hurts is one of the things I've observed even filming, right? Observing when I'm in peace or when I'm looking for a home, and there's just a lot of this need to push and assert dominance from men, and it could just be me. It could just be my shit, right? It could this could be just my stuff. This overabundant, I'm gonna just I'm gonna put you down, just to build you back up, because that's the way we do it. That's the way women are going to want it. When on this earth did that work for anybody? Listen, the feminine we have our things too, right? We see a golden ticket or whatever it is, right? We see something that we want, and we suave, right? No one is perfect, you guys. We do our things too. We project a lot of our pain on our men, right? Okay? It's balance. We all do it. But what I am seeing is this level of toxicity, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how are we going to give birth to something more pure? The earth is suffering because of how we are treating each other, right? Let's not forget Adam's rib, right? Adam and Eve, right? That's my thing. It's like we need each other. Why is there such a? It's like it's heartbreaking. Hold space for me, you guys. I'm sorry. This is my rant. It's heartbreaking. It hurts. I get treated so like this by men instantly without them giving me a chance, because I'm tall, or because I don't say hi, or because I choose not to overdo the presents. I don't know. And then I see the opposite as well, because we're all doing it, genderless. We all do something, right? Maybe it's my defense mechanism. If I don't know you, right, I'm not going to throw myself. But what is this need to exert? I just, rant. It hurts. It hurts. It really hurts, because there's just so much anger. And I just have to tell you, the fact that mother wasn't there or father wasn't there is not your partner's fault. It's not your partner's stuff to carry for you. Whatever insecurities you have of yourself, this is not all men, because listen, I met some really wonderful, very, very generous spirits, people who are just calming to be around and real. Just know how to sit and be human, without all the ego. This is one of the things I learned from, not to get too much into race, but, Asian men. I loved being around my Asian friends. So calming, so peaceful. They were always so gentle with the feminine. They were, they respected women. Growing up, I always saw this. My black men, right, always held space for me. And, white men have their way of doing it too. So this is the reason why I bring it up in race, is because culturally we all have a different way. Culture is a thing. However, women, it's not your husband's thing. It's not it's not your husband's weight to carry if you're working through a lot of your anger and your pain, right? This is how we're going to create peace. We have to bring respect and acknowledge and separate. What is it for your partners to carry? And a lot of it is our frustration when it comes out when we're so intense and we're so revved up. Take a break, you guys. And it's not easy for me to say, because I'm a fire sign with some water placements, but I can go 0 to 100, right? In my own way. I'm very different now, but I'm sure you guys can relate. How do we react to conflict? Is it necessary? I'm going to leave you at this. Something my mother used to always tell me, and I quote her, and I'll tell you why I quote her so much. This is the way I heal my relationship to my family. Specifically, when I say my family, I'm talking about my brother and my mother. The way I heal my circle here is by acknowledging their strengths, because ultimately, a little bit about family, because I know we wanted to talk about family. The reason why I resented my mother, if I boiled down all the other stuff, there's stuff, but it wasn't resentment. It was that I wanted to be just like her, so strong, in control, feminine, and she always just knew how to have guy friends, and emotion wasn't a thing for her. So this is what I'm going to leave you at, okay? When you're dealing with a relationship, look at your mother if you feel guided to, and see her strengths. What did she do right with your father? What did she do right with, the men that she dated? If she dated, what did she do right? Because we tend, our human mind, our human psyche, we tend to pick at the negative, all the things that, oh yeah, this is a great baseline to heal our relationship with our parents as well. What did they do right? So I saw my mother completely, before I let you go, in control of her feminine power. And it was about respect in my house. This was about respect. If a man wanted to, if a guy wanted to date me, they had to respect me. Back to when I was 17, really in this space of idealization, he had the grace, I'll tell you real quick, he had the grace to tell me, you are too good of a person for me. And this was huge because we're both 17, but he had the emotional awareness to tell me that I was too pure, because he knew himself at 17. So this is what I'm talking about. Let's give each other a little more credit. Let's give each other a little more love. Let's support each other. And, I hope that wasn't too much of a vent. If you guys have any more questions, I know I like to freestyle it. Comment below, and I love you. Okay, let's finish off the Two of Pentacles. This is where we are in mending our heart. This is heart work, soul work, right? Heart work is a quote. It's not mine, you guys, so just keep that in mind. The earth, how we move through just sobering our emotions, being more practical, being more grounded, being more... How do we balance? A lot of us, we really want balance. This is really what we want, okay? I love you. Thank you for being here. Mwah.